What's the importance of the relevance of Audi or Spain for Audi in the strategic nowadays?
Audi Spain is one of our most important markets in Europe and a very important market when it comes to progress and future orientation. And that's the reason why we are holding the Audi Summit for Progress here in Madrid.
Volkswagen Group is starting to develop a new model of Audi in Spain. Right now you are manufacturing the A1 in Martorell. What's next in Spain?
We're currently evaluating our production lineup and the future portfolio, and my dear colleagues of Volkswagen Group and Audi Spain are elaborating all opportunities in order to make every plant count.
How are you managing the lack of microchips or semiconductors? Do you have a calculate how many cars have you yet not sold because of this issue?
The global pandemic due to Corona had a gigantic influence on all of us as human beings. And it had a huge impact on the semiconductor supply chain. And that was the reason why it caused a gigantic delay in our production facility. But all my colleagues which are managing supply chain, production, delivery are doing an amazing job from my point of view in order to make sure that every customer gets her or his Audi as fast as possible. From my point of view, looking back, Audi is extremely resilient dealing with a crisis situation, which will keep us entertained and busy for definitely 2023 as well. And it will have an impact. Customers will still keep on waiting, but we do everything in our power to make the shortage and waiting time as short as possible.
So you don't have numbers of the impact?
No.
Okay, let's talk about the battery plant in Volkswagen in Sagunto. Do you think that it finally will be completed and go ahead?
Sorry, can you ask the question?
Yeah. The Volkswagen battery plant in Sagunto, in Valencia.
Yeah.
Do you think it will finally be completed? The project go ahead?
So the entire plant strategy is up with my colleagues who are dealing with our plant infrastructure. And I believe in their capabilities and power, because that's the reason why we are going to launch more than 20 battery electric vehicle models just with the brand Audi until 2026, and we'll do the transformation during this decade. So by 2026 there are going to be electric vehicles only, and all facilities are going to be leveraged in order to provide the batteries we need to do so. So I cannot answer on plants, so that's I'm the CMO, but I'm not the head of production and plants. So so that's I just explained myself. But I understand.
La siguiente nos la saltamos.
¿La siguiente cuál era?
¿Cómo cree que están gestionando los fondos europeos? Tampoco desde el punto de vista.
¿Crees que
Y si quieres a la Audi, lo decir lo mismo.
sí, no? ¿Nos la jugamos?
The next one is what do you think about how is Europe dealing with the European funds for Spain?
No.
Once again,
No.
I guess.
No.
So now back to our business.
Yeah, at least to the part I can talk about.
I know. What do you think is the future of the electric vehicle?
That's. Want to ask it again?
Yeah. Future of the electric vehicle, of the BEV.
Due to the fact that electricity is so easy to be produced and to be distributed, and when you look how easy it is to power an electric vehicle, it is a given that the future of mobility will become electric. And that's the reason why, as of 2026, we are going to launch just electric vehicles only. And based on our commitment, we will phase out, after 112 years, we will phase out the technology of internal combustion engines for a greater good. As we need to get rid of CO2, we need to decarbonize our environment as fast as we can as human beings, and at Audi we do so. And the electric mobility is the key, enabling us to keep the human beings on an experience level, to be mobile, yet getting rid of CO2 in the future.
When do you think that the electric vehicles will be having a similar price to the combustion engine ones?
We are getting there already. So the price of an electric vehicle is becoming much closer to a price of an internal combustion engine vehicle already. Why? because we are able to leverage the economies of scale. We are now growing, we are ramping up, and that's the reason why the costs per battery cell, per power pack are dramatically decreasing. And that's the reason why we're glad that we are part of the Volkswagen Group, which is one of the largest mobility provider in the world, because that's the reason why we will be able to provide very good economies of scale and therefore a very good value for money for each product.
And estimate date about equalize.
Not during these days, because we are in the transformation decade and we are dealing with multiple crises at the same time. So I would strongly recommend not to link yourself to a clear price target during those days, because we have to finance the transformation, right? So we need to make sure that we are asking a certain price, providing a very solid value for money in order to be able to finance the transformation. So, and of course, every euro counts and is important, as this is a very important source for investments for the future. Yeah, so just for the just to give you a number, just by 2025, we will have invested at Audi 18 billion just to electrify the powertrain. So, and that's not just even counting the investment for digitalization, to connect the devices. So this is the ultimate transformation decade we are talking about. During this 10 years, we will make cars smart devices, we will connect them to a digital ecosystem, and we build cars which are powered by an electric powertrain and therefore usable without emitting CO2. And that's happening just within a time frame of 10 years. So you have to imagine, after 112 years, we are transforming the entire ecosystem just within 10 years. And that's the reason why pricing is important. Return on investment is important in order to be able to survive and to be with us in the future.
The last question is, what do you think are the main challenges for Spain as a market?
For Audi or for?
Electrification.
Okay. The biggest challenge for electrification is the same everywhere. It is the interest. The human beings need to become interested, right? So we are, after 120 years of fossil fuels and internal combustion engines, we need to start rethinking. And we need to become open-minded to alternative solutions. And electric mobility and e-fuels, etc., are going to be the solutions. So this is the reason why the audience in Spain needs to get acquainted and need to get used to this. I became an EV driver myself more than 10 years ago. And in the beginning you are dealing with range anxiety, where to charge my car. Yeah, so, and the charging infrastructure. You would love to have a charging pile in every single corner, even if you don't need it, but to de-stress yourself. And that's not necessary, because now we are providing electric cars which provide range. And in Spain, we need to, as all of us, we need to invest in infrastructure where you can charge your car. It's easy to be done, but there's a road ahead. Because right now, we have an e-tron charging card, which is granting me access to 460,000 charging pylons in Europe, but only 7,100 in Spain. So therefore, let's work on that.
One quick last question about the infrastructure of
Charging points.
Charging points in Europe.
Yeah.
The last directive affirmed. What do you think about the steps of the?
So we were just talking about the economies of scale. Now, the investment for infrastructure is worth it, because there is a mobility market growing. And therefore, are partners with us who are investing in infrastructure in order to provide electricity even in city centers and at certain destinations and routes. And so with the growth into an electric mobility, we will also see the investment growth in charging infrastructure. Will it always be perfect that first the infrastructure, then the car? No. But it's as always in history. So you have the first airplane and you have not an airport all over the place. You have the first telephone, but you're not having everyone having one. So with every new technology, it's coming in like an S-curve. So the new technology is with you, and then there are the barriers. In our case, the range and the charging infrastructure. And this is now going to be solved during these days, and that's the reason during the second half of this decade, we will see many BEV, so battery electric vehicle driving in Spain.